Let's do some sensible transfer suggestions for Wrexham this summer. In our last video on Wrexham on DragonSports, we covered some of the challenges that they have this summer. And while there may be a big splash or two, in order to build a championship-ready squad for Phil Parkinson, they have different avenues of attack. So on this video, we're going to look at a free, a loanee, and a fee. That is to say, someone that they could look to pick up on a free transfer that's been released this summer. We'll also take a look at the loanee market and see if there's any interesting names that could crop up. And finally, let's talk about a big splash, but let's talk about one that actually makes sense for the club rather than one that is just designed to get clicks online. Starting with a loanee, I think if you're Phil Parkinson, you want someone that has some championship experience because first loans can be very difficult, but you also want someone that is considered a really strong talent and who might do well for their second year on loan. It's a trend that we see regularly across the EFL. How about Owen Beck? He was on loan at Blackburn last season from Liverpool. He's a left wing back, and I think could be a really good option to challenge James McElhenney for minutes at left wing back for Parkinson's Wrexham. Not only that, he is born in Wrexham. He's a Wales under-21 international. He has 1 year left on his contract at Liverpool, and he impressed for Blackburn Rovers last season. He could do a job for Wrexham straight away in the Championship. And you feel like with 1 year left on his contract and a future at Liverpool looking unlikely, what if you take Beck on loan this season? What if he challenges McElhenney and steps up when he does take to the field? And then you have a good chance of signing him on a free transfer next summer, at which point he'd be a 23-year-old local lad established in the first team. That would be perfect for Wrexham. Other options in the loan market, Alex Matos on loan from Chelsea would be one option. He was with Oxford United last season, and by the end of the season, the fans absolutely loved what he was bringing to the table, particularly when it comes to the combative nature of this player in midfield battles. He is a destroyer, and like Beck, he's out of contract next summer. So it's a smart way of looking at things from a Wrexham point of view to try and get some exceptional young talent in on loan this season with a view to signing them permanently when they're established in the first team and loving life at Wrexham next season. Lewis Koumas is one to look out for as well, another young Welsh player which may appeal to the Wrexham hierarchy. He had a decent loan at Stoke last season from Liverpool as well. An attacking player, very versatile, can play out wide or through the middle, and really, really good at running in behind. I think he's someone that would thrive playing off a target man striker. His goal record wasn't brilliant, but nor was Liam Delap after 1 or 2 seasons on loan in the Championship. Players tend to do well for their second loan. And a more premium option might be Ali Al-Hamadi on loan from Ipswich. What Al-Hamadi would bring is sheer pace, which Wrexham don't necessarily have at the very top of the pitch. Another player that thrives playing off a target man, as we saw when he was excellent for Wimbledon in League 2. I think Ipswich would be more than happy to let Al-Hamadi go, whether it's on a loan or potentially on a permanent. And I think what he offers could be a really good fit for the way that Parkinson's Wrexham are going to play in the Championship next season. If they want to go super premium, how about Lewis O'Brien? He was on loan at Swansea from Nottingham Forest in the second half of the season, and he was absolutely excellent. And there's just a small aspect to this where I wonder if Wrexham could flex their muscles and show their new position in the Welsh football pecking order, with Cardiff having been relegated. If Wrexham could sign someone that Swansea are desperate to sign back on loan or permanently themselves, that would be a big statement. And again, in terms of the type of player that he is, the type of midfielder that he is, perfect for Wrexham's system. Now, there are hundreds of players that have been released by EFL clubs. If we focus to start with on those released by Championship clubs that could be of interest to Wrexham, there are a couple of left wing backs that I think, again, if we're looking for someone to back up or challenge James McElhenney, could be of interest. Cohen Bramall was released by Portsmouth. Bramall is super speedy. He's a bit hot and cold when it comes to his crossing, which is obviously something that Wrexham really need from that left-hand side, but he can get up and down really well, and I don't think he would let Wrexham down if they brought him in on a free to be part of their squad. Marvin Johnson is another option, 34 years old, so again, someone at the end of their career, but really excellent delivery from that left-hand side. And if McElhenney's getting tired after 60 minutes and you bring on the man they call Neymar, you're not going to do too badly if it comes to creating chances. I wonder about Lyndon Gooch, really experienced player at Championship and League One level, released by Stoke City, and of course born in California, so a little bit of US interest there. Just a versatile player who can play at full-back, wing-back, either side, really. Not a sexy name necessarily, but could be a solid squad player if they went down that route. Defenders, Semi Ajayi's been released by West Brom. He had a tough time with injury this season, but if Parkinson wants another dominant aerial centre-back, Ajayi with loads of Championship experience would not be a bad shout. Murray Wallace could fit the bill as well of Millwall, can play on the left side as well. Just an absolute wrecking ball, really physical, has had a really good stint at Millwall over the last 5 years or so. In midfield, you got the terrier qualities of Ryan Ledson, who's been released by Preston. I think would fit into that Ollie Rathbone kind of mould. Or someone like John Swift, someone a bit more mercurial, who could sit in that Elliot Lee role, if you like, at the top of the midfield and just give them that little bit of extra technical quality and set piece threat as well. Looking in League One, I've got to look at Sean Rowan. He's a youngster, left-sided centre-back or left-back. He's done a great few years at Lincoln City, and I think there would have to be a fee paid in the tribunal if Wrexham were to get him. But again, someone that I think would really suit their style of play to play in the left centre-back position. Someone whose excellent passing range means that he can go back to front really well, which is important for Phil Parkinson. You've also got Hakeem Odoffin, player of the season for Rotherham last season. Versatile, physical central midfielder, centre-back as well. Excellent person to have in the squad, and he's rejected a new contract and is available to sign on a free. Fraser Horsfall's in contract negotiations with Stockport. Wrexham will know him well from their battles with Stockport over the last few seasons. If they want an aerially dominant centre-back, Horsfall could be an option, although he's never played in the Championship before, and that could be a bit of a risk. And as mentioned on the last video, Mustafa Bundu's been released by Plymouth Argyle, and just in terms of being a real handful with size and speed and skill at the top of the pitch, Bundu's got to be an interesting option for a side like Wrexham. Now we'll finish off with the fee, and this is someone that Wrexham would probably look to spend a few £1 million on. This is someone that they would need to contribute straight away, and if you look at Wrexham's squad, I really think that striker is the obvious position to look at when it comes to dropping a few £1 million to bring someone in to really help elevate what Wrexham can do. Now, there's a part of me that thinks that the perfect Championship striker for Wrexham this season, if money was no object, would be Colby Bishop of Portsmouth, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have asked the question. He would be so good for this Phil Parkinson side, the most fantastic target man in the league right now, but signed a new contract in February, a long-term contract, and Portsmouth would be well within their rights to ask for a huge fee for Bishop. So possibly not one for Wrexham. But the signing that I think could be huge for them, genuinely huge, would be Elijah Adebayo of Luton Town. Now, Adebayo is tall. He is used to playing in a similar tactical system to the one that Parkinson employs at Wrexham. He is a serious aerial threat inside the box. Now, what's also true about Adebayo is that he has been very, very hot and cold in front of goal over the last few seasons. Last year in the Championship, he had the biggest XG underperformance of any Championship striker. His finishing was poor for the whole season, and it was a big issue for Luton, who, when they were creating chances, they weren't being taken by Adebayo. But is Adebayo a bad striker because he had a tough season in front of goal last season in a struggling team when he lacked confidence? Or is he a great striker because in the season before that, he scored 10 Premier League goals for a relegated side when he did look confident, when he was feasting on good delivery from Alfie Doughty? The most important thing for me here is that he is big, he is a handful, he feasts on good crosses, scores headers at the back post for fun when he's confident. And Parkinson has a very good record of breathing confidence into players that were lacking it previously. He's used to playing in a tactical system like this. He's 27 years old, so he wouldn't be coming in at the end of his career with, 12 months left at this level, nor would he be a project player like Fal, for example, who they signed last summer. This would be someone who could start straight away, who I think would be a perfectly decent complement for Sam Smith up front, and would give Wrexham a front two that would strike fear into the heart of Championship centre-backs, and someone who we know, if he could play with confidence and enjoy his football in a new environment, could easily score 15 Championship goals next season. I think he would cost a few £1 million. I don't think Luton will be clinging on to Adebayo too tightly. I think it's time for Adebayo and Luton to part ways, and I really think he'd be a great option for Wrexham. So there you go, trying to put together some sensible transfer shortlists for Wrexham when it comes to free transfers, loanees and big fees as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Some of these names might not be the big, sexy, well-known globally names that Wrexham are being linked to, but for Wrexham this season, it's about maintaining their championship status, turning over the squad so that it can move into a new era as a championship club, if not a Premier League club. And I think some of the additions that I've mentioned here would help them to do that this season while maintaining their championship status and not wasting too much money on aging veteran players, on long contracts, on high wages. That's what I think for Dragon Sports. Head to dragonsports.co.uk for all the best Welsh sports news, and make sure you comment and subscribe to this channel to let us know what you think about Wrexham's transfer window over the next 2 months.